This week in Boomtown, a new initiative to handle Columbus's growth. Why city leaders say these rules could shape everything from housing to wages. But just up the road, one Central Ohio township is hitting pause on new data centers. The move to manage rapid development by slowing down. And as Central Ohio's grid gets stretched, solar leaders warn federal cuts could hit jobs here at home and send your electric bills higher. Just ahead, an in-depth conversation you'll see only here on Boomtown. Central Ohio certainly is booming. We all see it and we all can feel it. So here's what we uncovered this week in Boomtown. Thanks so much for joining us for This Week in Boomtown. I'm Angela Ann. There's a reason the Columbus region is booming, and none of it could happen without federal grant funding. A little-known coalition called the Columbus War Room is a driving force behind these discretionary funds coming to Central Ohio. And just like winning a war, there is strategy, planning, and a relentless pursuit of opportunities.
And when you just look at the last year, this has brought back over $100 million to Central Ohio. Things that are critical infrastructure, like you think about the transit corridor with CODA on the west side. Think about a bike trail that's designed around business and opportunities up through Linden with the Linden Green Line. But even places like Lancaster in Central Ohio, they have an industrial complex that they need funding for. These are real projects that'll make a real difference. And so you want to pick those ones that people are going to see, that are going to have a big impact, that everybody can rally around. And that's the whole point of the War Room.
Well, in just a moment, we'll take a deeper dive into what makes the Columbus War Room continue to win. But first, let's get to some headlines from this week in Boomtown. The Ohio Chamber of Commerce is being recognized on the national stage. This week, it was named the 2025 State Chamber of the Year. This award from the National Association of State Chambers highlights the group's growth, advocacy, and its role in fueling business momentum here in Central Ohio. Leaders say the honor proves our region is on the rise. White Castle also getting some props nationally. This week, Fortune magazine ranked the home of the original slider among the 2025 best workplaces in retail. The Columbus-based family-owned restaurant chain landed at number 18, praised for its strong culture and employee support. Pickaway County has a new leader guiding its rapid growth. Longtime business and public service executive Brian Hill is now stepping in as executive director of the Pickaway Progress Partnership and County Port Authority. Now, with an advanced manufacturing projects like Andero's $900 million facility already underway, Hill says his focus will be balancing economic expansion with community needs and Pickaway's agricultural heritage.
We all know that this challenge is meeting our community head on. Rising rents, job opportunities that are oftentimes out of reach of residents, safety concerns, thoughts around what the cultural centers of our city will look like during all this development that is happening every single day in our city.
Columbus City Council creating a new plan to prepare for growth. This week, council members announced 9 new initiatives focusing on things like public safety, recycling, affordable housing, and pay transparency. 10 TV's Tara Jabor is here to explain what this means for the future of Boomtown.
Columbus City Council says this new initiative, Columbus Forward, looks to make growth fair for everyone and get ahead of the growing pains of growth.
By 2050, the city of Columbus's population is expected to grow to 3 million people. To get ahead of that growth, Council is launching Columbus Forward.
Can we get better as we get bigger?
Each member of council is responsible for a different initiative. Councilman Otto Beatty wants to make it easier for families to have accessory dwelling units. That's a small self-contained home on the property of another home.
By making ADUs allowed by right, which means removing the unnecessary barriers and streamlining approvals, we will empower families to make the housing choices that work for them.
Councilwoman Lourdes Barroso de Padilla is focused on the wage gap. Her legislation would make every employer in Columbus list a salary range for an open position.
When you apply for a job, You deserve to know right from the start what that job pays. And for far too long, salary secrecy has held too many people back.
Another big focus is safety. Councilman Emmanuel Remy says he wants to make it easier for people to report crime online. He also wants to strengthen liquor enforcement and make standards for public safety at events.
We're going to modernize short-term rental oversight. We'll tighten registration and compliance, focus on repeat problem properties, and give neighborhoods a clear path to report issues.
And council says this is just the beginning. They'll have more initiatives in the future. You can read more about the first 9 initiatives on our website, 10tv.com. Reporting on the east side of Columbus, Tara Jabor, 10TV News.
Tara, thank you. Now, the ADU legislation is getting a lot of talk, so we took a deeper dive this week. Basically, it is additional living space for living or rent. Councilman Beatty explained what that would look like.
When I speak about accessory dwelling units, I'm speaking about independent living units, meaning that they will have a place to sleep in, a place to cook, a place to use the restroom, and its own entrance. That can be a separate little casita in the backyard. It can be something that's attached. It can be something on top of a garage. It can be a garage that's converted into a unit like I did for my own mother.
A lot of options there. Councilman Beatty says he hopes to present legislation at the end of this month. Well, it's no secret housing continues to be a big issue in Central Ohio. It was one of many issues addressed this week at a forum hosted by Columbus Metropolitan Club. Now, a recent survey by the Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission, or MORPC, shows people are focused on these 3 things: housing, childcare, and jobs. Of the more than 2,100 people surveyed, the biggest concern was consistently about the cost of living.
You know, we have to ensure that we are investing in how we finance housing, how we build housing, how we bring all of our partners together in order to execute on those goals. Because for me, housing stability is what really drives economic mobility.
And in that survey, 73% of respondents said they felt housing was too expensive, and a majority felt affordable housing would strengthen the economy. This week, trustees in Jerome Township hit pause on a new data center. Union County is one of the fastest growing in our region, and data companies and logistics centers are well aware of the land available. But Jerome Township trustees are making companies pump the brakes. 10 TV's Bryn Caswell did some digging this week, and she explains why there is now a 9-month moratorium on all data center development there.
Jerome Township says this moratorium isn't about being anti-development or anti-business. It's about taking a pause to make sure everything is being done the right way. Jerome Township trustees are hitting pause, unanimously putting a 9-month halt on new data center development.
We really wanted to just kind of hit pause, be proactive before, we can't control when folks might come to us and say, hey, we want to build another data center.
Jerome Township Administrator Brandon Standley says the board will use this time to review zoning, sound and light requirements, even buffering mounds to separate large facilities from neighborhoods.
Data centers are, unfortunately or fortunately, they're a very needed part of our society today.
Trustees say the biggest concern over the past year have been noise from fans and generators and the impact on infrastructure. Right now, Amazon already operates 2 data centers in the township.
If this is done and we can improve things, that's going to mean, we hope, less complaints.
Carl Mitchell's 165-acre farm backs up to one of those Amazon data centers.
It's been in the Mitchell name since, well, over 200 years now.
He says change is inevitable. When he started his career, he was farming 5,000 acres all the way to Sawmill Road.
Now it has taken it 60 years to move from Sawmill Road 270 to Jerome Township, Union County. That move now is inevitable. It will not pass this area by. Something will happen here.
Mitchell says some noise comes from generators, but trains and semis from 33 are far louder. Trustees say they hope the pause gives them time to strengthen regulations and avoid long-term headaches.
We just want to be better prepared.
After After 9 months, the moratorium could be extended, but township trustees are optimistic this timeline will be enough time to work out the kinks. Reporting in Jerome Township, Bryn Caswell, 10 TV News.
We'll see what happens in 9 months. Bryn, thank you. There's no question the boom of data centers is key to Central Ohio's growth. This week, we can add another location to that growing list. The first phase of a huge data center campus in New Albany took a step forward this week. Here's some video from leaders cutting the ribbon on Edged Columbus. It is a 24 megawatt data center being built for AI. Edge Columbus is designed with sustainability in mind. Listen to this, using waterless cooling. That would save 92 million gallons of water a year and cut energy use by 74%. Now that's important because data centers are actively driving up the power demand, not just in Boomtown, but nationwide. Well, this week, 40,000 leaders in the solar industry came together in Las Vegas as part of the largest clean energy event in North America. With electricity bills rising every year, there is a surge in solar coast to coast and right here in Central Ohio. So take a look. Solar is big business for our state. We have the #1 solar manufacturing facility in the country. It's Illuminate in Pataskala. The industry statewide supports the livelihoods of 8,000 residents, and nearly $6.5 billion has gone into the state's economy from the solar boom. However, President Donald Trump has given clean energy advocates grave concern. Since taking office, his administration paused permits on all new wind and solar projects on public land, both onshore and offshore. Instead, the president is promoting energy production from oil, natural gas, and coal. Now, these actions are coming as power demands are at an all-time high. And I spoke with an expert this week from the solar industry about what all this means for Ohio.
We are the fastest growing form of electricity. We're the fastest to the grid. We can build the most quickly. We're the most affordable in almost every market. It's a little hard to imagine why any government official would take issue with that, right? We are a $70 billion industry. We employ over 280,000 Americans. It doesn't make sense.
This has huge implications for Ohio. As you know, we have the largest solar manufacturing company, Illuminate, right here in our backyard. We have many other solar companies throughout Ohio. Talk about the major impact that you see in terms of our job situation, given these federal cuts.
Yeah, this is a serious risk to Ohio. Ohio has had an incredible success story, right? You have become the #1 solar manufacturing state in this country, and you have done that because you offer a friendly business environment. You have a great workforce, wonderful working conditions, and so you really have been an example to the whole country of what it looks like to onshore manufacturing capacity, right? I don't have to tell you, if you try to limit a market, right, reduce the amount of demand for that product, in this case, the product is solar, you're not going to need all of the things to build it. And so you're not going to need the solar panels. You're not going to need the racking systems, all of which are being manufactured in Ohio. And so the actions happening in Washington are going to hurt the manufacturing capacity and the manufacturing companies in Ohio.
The ripple effect is certainly very apparent with what's happening in Washington. You have estimated a 17% collapse in our solar growth across the state. Any industry that sees that kind of double-digit reduction, it could be devastating for families.
Absolutely. It could be devastating for families in a number of ways, right? Certainly, the individuals who are working in the solar industry will experience job loss, right? They'll experience economic uncertainty and sort of wonder about their ability to pay their mortgage and pay for daycare for their kids. And the second thing that affects all citizens of the state of Ohio will be rising electricity costs, right? As I've said, solar is the most affordable form of electricity. If that craters by 17%, that's so much less affordable energy being put on the grid. Prices are going up. There's really no doubt about it. And so every family in Ohio will be impacted, even if they don't think they're part of the solar industry.
Let's talk about grid reliability. I mean, we have data centers galore. We were just rated #1 for data center growth as well. So talk about the grid reliability that again, people who may not have solar in their homes, but this will affect us.
It will absolutely affect you. I mean, data centers, the number one ingredient you need for a data center is electricity. And so we have a situation of increasing electricity demand. And if we do not meet that with increasing electricity supply, prices will go up. We're already seeing that. This is what we want our economy to do, to innovate and build and expand. And yet we need affordable electricity to power that innovation and that expansion. When we take solar away, we do not let the market provide the lowest source of electricity, prices will go up.
So what's next? What is your group particularly doing to turn the tide on this?
Yeah, we're doing a number of things. One is we're talking with governors, right? Governors are keenly aware of the impact of rising electricity prices on their constituents. And so governors of Ohio, governors of states across the country, governors of those states, right, where 77% of solar has been deployed in 2025 so far, we're talking to them and saying, hey, there is a huge economic opportunity that is being threatened by the federal government. Speak up and let President Trump and this Congress know that this is not acceptable. But we're also saying, hey, you have a lot of power over energy policy in your state, right? You can help make permitting more accessible. You can help make siting more accessible, right? There's a lot of things that governors can do, but we're also lobbying at the federal level, really trying to let Congress know and let the administration know that this really does not have to be kind of this sort of negative experience. There's so much opportunity here for growth and for innovation and for development of our AI resources and our energy resources. That sort of there's a win there for the taking, and we really want this president and this administration to take it if they're able to.
So Abigail Hopper says the solar industry is in deep conversations with many governors, as you heard, including Governor Mike DeWine. We reached out to his office about the solar debate to see where the governor stands today. A spokesperson told us this week DeWine supports an all-of-the-above energy strategy, as solar alone cannot power Ohio's energy needs. They went on to say that the governor believes solar should be a, quote, part of the mix, along with natural gas, nuclear, clean coal, and wind. Well, some solar projects are still moving forward. A Fairfield County solar farm project this week received approval by a state board, but it's facing quite a bit of disapproval from people who live nearby. And they tell us they are gearing up to fight construction. 10 TV's Rochelle Aline talked to everyone involved this week. Here's her report on the complex state law at the center of this fight.
It's no secret Melissa Connor loves living in Pleasantville.
I first moved to this property in '83.
I haven't seen a check come my way.
And her neighbor, Frank Martin, feels the same way.
My wife and I sat out the first night and watched a meteor shower. She had never seen it.
But they tell 10 TV they worry that the character of their community may change after a solar panel project got the green light to be built across from their homes.
What is your reaction to that? It's extremely disappointing.
According to developers, the Eastern Cottontail Solar Project would sit on about 1,500 acres of land. Plans show that it would allow for sheep grazing, generate hundreds of temporary and permanent jobs, and create enough power to run about 42,000 homes. Neighbors say while they understand the benefits, they worry that the panels could become dangerous during severe weather and impact their property values. We took those concerns to the company via email. In a statement, they said the panels should be able to withstand certain strong storms. And as far as home values, they pointed to several studies which claim these projects have no bearing on that.
Where does this leave you? Our group called Citizens for Fairfields, we will file to intervene by asking for a rehearing. And we will hope for a different outcome. We will hope that when we present them additional information, that they can see it differently. If that doesn't work out, then we will go to the next step.
What's the next step?
The Ohio Supreme Court.
As Central Ohio grows, people are going to say it's a consequence of progress, right? We need power, right?
Absolutely.
More people are moving here, and it has to go somewhere.
Right.
What is your response to that?
That's great, because we've been called NIMBYs over and over again. And I'll say, yeah, we are NIMBYs. We absolutely are. But I don't know whose backyard this belongs in, because it doesn't belong in anybody's backyard.
Columbus has been named the #1 metro area in the country for growth by Site Selection magazine. Now, the city says this is the first time it has topped the list of this premier publication for real estate and planning. So it's no secret Central Ohio's growth is catching attention nationwide, but now we're learning a unique local group is making sure this region keeps moving forward. From roads to transit to new housing, 10 TV's Catherine Simon shows us how the War Room is helping bring in millions of dollars of funding back to Columbus and shaping how we live, work, and get around.
The War Room is a great example of local communities coming together with the business sector and nonprofits to help the region grow better as we grow bigger.
The War Room was formed a few years ago when the Columbus Partnership and Mid-Ohio Regional Planning Commission brought together a group of community, business, and nonprofit leaders to help find grant money and bring it back to Central Ohio.
If you can say that a community needs it, that it makes a big difference in the region, the business community supports it, nonprofits see the benefit, that tells a story that really makes folks who are making these grant decisions stand up and say, Central Ohio has its act together, and we want to invest in that to make a difference.
Last year, the War Room helped bring $116 million in federal funding back to the region, helping pay for projects like COTA's rapid transit bus lines and the airport's new terminal project, just to name a few.
These are real projects that'll make a real difference.
These infrastructure improvements are part of the reason Columbus topped Site Selection magazine's Global Groundwork Index. The ranking looks at places where business and infrastructure are growing.
I think it sends a strong message to the companies that are in our region and those that could be looking at our region that we are prepared, not just for the projects they have now, but the projects they're going to have in the future.
One Columbus works with businesses that want to move to or expand in Central Ohio. Interim President Matt McAllister says a ranking like this helps fuel even more business growth in the region.
As long as we're in the top 5, it'll serve us well because that's, top 5, top 10 is what a lot of the companies are looking for.
Being #1 for growth doesn't come without challenges. Now the focus is maintaining momentum.
We have to continue to grow as a region, population-wise. We're going to have to continue to add housing. We're going to have to continue to add students to the schools so we have that steady supply of employees.
So this War Room, which fights to bring funding back to the area, is really focused on things that will directly impact how people live. Housing, how people get around, and improving quality of life. Reporting in Columbus, Catherine Simon, 10 TV News.
Very interesting, Catherine. Thank you. If you have questions related to Central Ohio's rapid growth, we would love to hear from you. Just text us 614-460-3345. And if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. You can also drop your questions in the comments section as well. And a quick heads up, we are coming up on 1 year since we launched Boomtown on 10 TV. Keep watching for special episodes in the near future. Thanks so much for watching This Week in Boomtown. I'm Angela Ann. We'll see you again next week.